Hello YouTube and welcome to a junk silver by the ounce unboxing. So I mentioned in some of the recent videos that I've been buying junk silver by the ounce, not by face value, but by the ounce. I want to talk about what I've been getting and why that's good. I'm going to put some numbers on this. This is what I got. Now you'll notice the first thing that jumps to your eyes, this Morgan dollar. That's nice. It's an 1879S, so that's not bad. Pretty good shape, apart from giant hole. That's because these are call lots, and that does mean that sometimes you're going to get some pretty rough coins. But even these call Morgan dollars at this point still have a pretty significant premium, well into the 30s. For calculation purposes today, given that it has a giant glaring hole in it, we'll be conservative. We'll say that's $30. That's still honestly pretty typical for what you see today. But I want to look at what we got and what the price we would have paid if we were buying by face value would have been. So I paid $290 for this, and this is a lot of 10 troy ounces, including a Morgan dollar. That's pretty good. So we got a Morgan dollar, we've got 5 walking liberties, we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I love these standing liberty quarters. They tend to wear a lot. They do tend to wear a lot, but I love buying these. They circulated, So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. But you'll notice, they're worn, but they're not, for the most part, culls. They're just, for the most part, they're just low grade. So we're up to 21, 22, 23, and is that it? 24. That's it. So 24 standing liberty quarters, which are my favorite quarter. I think they're gorgeous. Not a lot of newer stuff, not a lot of Washington quarters. I don't see so far any Roosevelt dimes. 4, 5 Washington quarters. 2 pretty rough Barber quarters. Look at this guy. That's barely still a Barber quarter. But that, that is. Then we've got 1 Barber dime. That's 2. That's got to be 1. Yep, 2 Barber dimes. Yep, 2 Barber dimes, and the rest are Mercuries. No Roosevelts, right? Is that right? That's right. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. And so 20 Mercury dimes. And the other thing you'll notice is, you look at some of this stuff, that a lot of it has no dates. But the ones that have dates are not bad dates. There's a 28. It's not like you're getting a 45. There's, I think, a 20. That's a 17, I believe, if I remember right. That's second year of issue. These are not, these are not great coins, but you see the amount of wear on these. These have some pretty substantial wear. If we were to grab, say, a fairly good shape, in the sense it's not very circulated, Washington quarter, and just a random one of these standing liberty quarters, you'll see quite a difference in the thickness. That's the reason we're buying this by weight instead of by face value. If you're buying by face value, when you pay a certain multiple, you're paying the same amount for this coin, which has more silver in it, as you are for this coin, which has less silver in it. And in fact, you might pay more for this because it's older and more interesting and a more desirable design and so forth. When we're buying by weight, this coin's cheaper. This coin costs more. And when we look, especially as we're getting heavy on the older stuff here, we tend to come out ahead. So just on the side here, popping these numbers in a spreadsheet that I put together. And If we exclude the Morgan dollar, just for now, if we think about face value multiples when we're buying our junk silver, this stuff alone, without the Morgan, at current premiums for Walking Liberty halves, I mean, we're talking low circulated grades. Walking Liberty halves, Standing Liberty quarters, Roosevelt or Washington quarters, Barber quarters, Barber dimes, Mercury dimes. Very few culls here. There's a few that obviously are pretty bad, but for the most part, these are not truly culls. They're just lower grade. They're just, they're in the summer fair. Most of the stuff is in the about good to good range. That's most of it. And if we look at sort of typical premiums for this stuff, again, just this stuff, not the Morgan, we're already at just under $320, $318.70 at the silver price the day that I ordered this, with the types of premiums you would see for each of these different types of coin. And that's without the Morgan. Once you add the Morgan, we're going to call it another 30. I think in reality, that's probably, with a hole, that probably is about right. Morgan culls right now are going in the mid 30s, but that's it's a glaring hole. It's in great shape otherwise, honestly. Beautiful coin. But we'll add another 30, so that's $348.70. Our expenses are $290. So I'm quite happy with the quality here, and I think I'm going to be getting more. It's only a question of how much. In fact, I know I'm getting more. I've already ordered more. I think I'm going to order even more. And if we do well, and if I hit my stacking goals for the year, so I'm not worried about competition, I'll drop a pointer to how I'm getting this. But I think this right now is the way to buy silver in 2023. If you can get junk silver by the ounce. And a tip, a lot of local coin shops, they deal mostly in U.S. silver and world bullion, of course. But when world silver coins come in, for the most part, that's not really what they're dealing in. They mostly just go in a big bin, often not even put out for view. You can often ask, do you have any world silver for sale by the ounce? And now it can vary, and not all countries have the same silver purity. You're going to have some variation. But, if you plan on, say an 80% purity as a fairly typical value and kind of work from there, you can often get really great deals on world silver. And maybe sometime I'll show you some world silver, but I mostly like my American junk silver. Anyway, this is, I think, a successful experiment, and I think this is the way we're going to be going. So $290 we paid for 10 troy ounces of 90% U.S. constitutional junk silver, and with an actual market value based on current premiums for each type of about $348 and then some change. So we're talking about a $60 premium. That's 20%. That's pretty substantial. That is pretty substantial. So it's a great discount. Thanks, everybody. I do have some more coins coming, and we'll have some more unboxing soon. And a few other things. I think our next video, or one of our next videos, so we saw these recently that came in my last silver by the ounce purchase. A lot of PVC. A lot of PVC. And normally you don't want to clean your coins, but there is a certain point at which there's just no reason not to. And I think these are in that category. So I think what we'll do is we'll clean these together probably sometime in the next week. So be on the lookout for that too. I'll show you how to clean PVC damaged silver. Again, it's not something you're going to do with your high value coins, but if you've got something like that, it makes sense. All right, thanks a lot.